everything. So, yeah, all right. Oh, I think I'm live. I'm doing my little dance. I'm getting ready to go live. I'm getting my energy going. And then I look at the screen and I'm like, hey, you are live. Hey, everybody. It's Tiffany. Thank you so much for joining me here at Paper Crafters Workshop. Totally excited to be here. This is one of the most fun parts of my job. And I do have to answer a question. Ruth Debbie asked, Tiffany, my YouTube show I do for Craft Fair Crafters that support you and Stephanie Woo is on Wednesday at 6 p.m. How long is your show? And I'll go on after. I'll be on for about 30 minutes, Ruth Debbie. So thank you so much for being here and thank you for asking and thank you for your support as well. So, hey, everybody, if you are watching maybe on my YouTube channel or my Facebook channel, we are on live today with Paper Crafters Workshop in Canada. They're an amazing store. They have all of the organized option things that you need. And we're going to talk today specifically about some of the creative case stuff, some perfect pouches, and then any other questions that you have. I'm going to talk a little bit about ink as well and storing your ink. But I need you to know this, that Paper Crafters Workshop is offering a 10% off code with all 2 items, or even if you pre-order Chastity, the ink bag, which we will talk about later, you're going to be able to get that too. And the code is going to be Tiffany10, Tiffany 10, Tiffany10. So don't miss out on getting a great deal, a little bonus there with the products that you need to get and stay organized in your crafting and beyond. So I have Kimberly in my ear, and she is going to be telling me if you all have questions. So if you have a question, if you type it into the feed, either type the word question in all caps or a bunch of question marks. That makes it really easy for her to see. And if I get a weird look on my face and stop talking, it's because Kimberly's telling me something in my ear. I can't walk and chew that. All right, let's talk about Create a Case. So this is one of my favorite things, right? Totally new, totally exciting. And what is unique about Create a Case? Because people look at it and they go, how is that different than a zip and go bag? So Create a Case is crushable and stuffable, right? When you talk about our zip and go bags, which I'll talk about a little bit later, they have those interior boxes. They are the shape that they are, 100%. You can't make them any bigger or any smaller. Create a Case, which is 7 bags, and they all fit together. I'm going to show you that too. They can be folded flat for storage. But if you're using them and they're only half full, you can fold off the other half and stuff it in your tote bag, right? So with zip and go bags, you cannot do that. The shape, if half the zip and go bag is empty, it's still that shape. These crushable and stuffable, and they come in all these really great sizes, and they all work together. And there's some amazing things that have happened by mistake. What we call happy mistakes here. Okay. All right, so I'm going to go to my overhead here so you can kind of see. So this big bag is the Create a Case number 1, right? So they're numbered 1 through 7. And I've been asked for years to make something bigger. And so we came up with this Create a Case number 1. It has 2 double zipper pulls, right? It has a label on it. They all have label. Oh, the label's right here. Actually, it's missing. Right? So when you open it up, you're going to find all these other great bags inside. And look at the way they stack up. So this is the number 2, and it is 13 by 13. And it is going to work amazingly well, of course, for 12 by 12 paper. And it has another little feature. So I'm going to open it up and show you. As most of these bags do, it is this little ribbon, right? So this happens to be a paper pad. It's easy to lift out. But if you had stuff jammed in here into the corners of this, you've got this nice lifting ribbon that's going to help you lift whatever is in there out, right? So it's great for 12 by 12, easy in, easy out. Then once you take that top layer off, you see all the other bags and all the little goodies that you can store in all these other bags. And I'm going to show you more uses for each of them as well. So let's start with number 2, that was number 2. We're going to go to number 3. So this is number 3, right? And this is a great tool bag. It's long enough to hold rulers. It's sturdy enough to hold any other different kinds of heavyweight tools that you have. But again, if this was in a zip and go bag, it would be the size that it is. But now it's crushable, right? So when you put it in there, you've got some extra space. You literally, with this configuration, could put 2 of these into this bag because you have so much extra space because things are going to crush down. So that is the number 3. The number 4 is this guy right here. Open it up for you. And we have got all kinds of crazy things in here. And this is just kind of an example to show you the different things, the sizes, the way things fit in here. So when you're looking around your craft stash and you're trying to decide what you need to stash away, think about all the different sizes. This is kind of what that is, that example of all those different sizes of things that are going to fit in there. And again, you've got the handle, you've got a label pocket, super easy. Number 4. Number 5, 6x6. Of course, this has 2 handles on it. So depending on how you grab it, right? You've got side handle, top handle. Again, with the double zippers, I love double zippers. So everything I do with zippers has double zippers if I can possibly manage it. And this again has the lifting ribbon, which I did not employ. There we go. So now these are things are packed in there. Again, I can lift with that ribbon and pull those things in and out. But it's the perfect size for 6x6 paper, 6x6 projects, all of those kind of things. You're going to see a few other uses for this as well. That's the number 5. The number 6, we call this the tiny traveler. And right now I have this one just loaded with blending brushes, right? So you can see all the different blending brushes in there. Again, crushable, okay? So it's not going to take up nearly as much space. And that is whether you are using it in here or you are using it in some other type. Maybe you're going to throw it in your purse with your cosmetics in it, whatever it is, but it's really going to squish down. And then last but not least is number 7. So, and I have number 7 filled with solar paste, right? Or lunar paste, or, whichever it is, right? But a great way to store those, pack them up, visible, accessible, everything you need for a crafting adventure is going to be able to be packed into this handy number 1. I'm going to show you some other things too as I pack this up. So there's that. Everything packed in to one case. And when you close it up and you're thinking, oh, that's vinyl, those handles on the top and side aren't going to be able to handle all that weight. I'm going to see if you can see this in my overhead. Wherever there's a handle, put my hand under there, we have added this extra strip of webbing. So the handle isn't sewn into the vinyl. The handle is sewn into the webbing, which is sewn all the way into the bag. So you don't have to worry about the handle and the plastic or the vinyl of it, right? We've taken care of that for you. Now, could you possibly load this up so that it was unreasonable? 100%. But if you are loading it with something like this, it's not going to be a problem. These bags are so great for the number 1 bag is my favorite for linen storage, right? So under the bed in each bedroom or in the closet, the linen that goes with that bed, you're going to love it for so many things outside of crafting. But in the crafting world, these are amazing bags. Okay, so I'm going to move this aside, pull this out with this bag. And if you want to see anything else, you can type it in the chat and Kimberly will let me know. This is the same bag with skeins of yarn, and it will actually hold 8. And what I have in here, so this is the number 7, and I have knitting needles and stitch counters and scissors and all those basic kind of tools that you might need if you were doing some sort of needle craft here. But imagine, for those of you who knits or thinking about knitting, knitting is another addictive hobby. My mother knits. About putting this vertically on your shelf in your closet and being able to stand up 8 skeins of yarn and see all of them and throw that label on there and pull them in and out of your closet or wherever you have them stored. So no digging through things or getting yarn that's buried in things or whatever. And if they're rolled up into balls, you can still put them in here because why? Because this bag is crushable and stuffable. So if it pops out from those balls versus the skeins and this, I think that's how you say it, right? They're still going to fit in there. So it's a great tool for so many things. Now, we really went kind of the extra mile with Create a Case, trying to make it very durable, but also very lightweight. And, you know, we don't want, as crafters, our craft supplies are so heavy as they are. We do not need to add any extra weight to them. So you will love the creative case bags for that reason as well. The crushable, stuffable, lightweightness of them is incredible. I mean, it's really one of my favorite things that I designed recently. Now I'm going to show you some more uses, but I want to talk about a little happy accident. So this is the number 2 bag, and this is also going to coincide with what? Inks, right? So we have this love affair with mini inks, and I'm going to turn this on. So you can see this is the small box collection. I have clipped it all together. Now you watch me pull it off the shelf, right? If you're just using these flat on your desktop, you only need one clip to hold them together. You're trying to surround your workspace and create these little compartments for working on different kinds of projects or whatever. They just need one clip. But if you're going to do what I did and load them into your IKEA shelf or just onto a flat shelf, it's going to work so much better if you put multiple clips. It'll be easier to pull in and out. But to this whole collection, this is the basic box, small box collection. And you can see all the different types of mini inks that I've got stored in it and how visible and accessible they are. But now if I wanted to take these somewhere, this is that number 2 creative case. So I'm just going to pop it in there. Get it in the corner. Zip it up. And now I can take this with me anywhere I want to go. So into that, into the, sorry, I'm trying to talk and zip at the same time. If I set it into my big, sorry, if I set it into my big bag number 1, or if I just carry it with me, I've got everything tucked in, nice, neat, tidy into one case here. And so when I combine these 2 products together, it gives me a place to store all of these, but I can take them out of this and store them flat and accessible on a shelf. So it makes it so easy, right? And not just inks. Let's see. This is the same collection of products, right? Same basic box collection. And now, so if you've got different sort of tools and supplies that you want to take with you, this is a great way to do it as well. So get the number 2 creative case. So all the creative cases, they come in a bundle, but they also come individually. So yeah, order, you want the creative case number 2 and the basic box, small box collection. And then I'm really going to suggest you actually get the extra clips as well. So clips come in silver, which is what I have here. And they also come in bright colors, whichever you like. I like both. I use both. You can see that I've got them everywhere here. That's how I connected all my labels to everything. But it's just a great way to really, even if you just keep it that way, empty, and then you load up what you're taking with you, you are going to love this. Now, again, if you're a needle crafter and you're looking for somewhere, excuse me, down here, right? So bigger embroidery hoops, not a problem, right? Quilting rulers, right? The square quilting rulers, obviously not the giant long ones, but the square quilting rulers, any of those kind of things are going to fit perfectly in here. If you make quilt and you do 12 by 12 squares and you want somewhere to store those squares flat and keep them clean while you're making each of them, the number 2 creative case is going to be a great choice for that. There's so many crazy ways to use it. You're going to love it. So let's look at. Oh, Kimberly's in my ear saying someone's asking about the lowest hope. Is it coming back? Yes, well, something similar, very similar is. And that bag will fit in it vertically, right? So it'll stick out, right? Obviously, it's bigger than the lowest tote, but the lowest tote, we had the lowest tote, and then we had Lois 2.0, and then we had Cindy. And so now we're combining Cindy and Lois, and it will be called the Cindy Lou, and it is something that we are actively working on. In fact, I'm looking at the first sample of it, which Kimberly doesn't even know, which is sitting right here in my office in front of me today. So Sherry will definitely carry it, so stay tuned. Watch for some social media posts. I think it's going to be a June, July, summer. But yes, we will have it. And all of these bags will fit in it. So that's a nut, right? You're going to be able to pack that in the same way you can pack your zip and go bags into that lowest tote. So you're absolutely going to love it. Okay. So here is another creative case, right? This is all filled with embossing stuff, right? So I got embossing powders, embossing gun, embossing pens, and then I just used one of our 4x6 pockets to hold my anti-static bag because that's always kind of a mess. So really, again, super easy. All those things are in there. You could just put tools in there, but if you're going somewhere and you want to take your tools and your embossing powders and your embossing pens and everything that you need, this is a great way to take that again. And it is crushable. So what I was talking about is, if you shake this down, now you haven't used that much space, right? You can put it into your tote bag or into your suitcase or into whatever and not like use up space that's empty, which is a little bit different. Now, I don't mean to sound like I'm bad mouthing the zip and go bag because, I love them all like they're my own children. But, people are like, what is the difference? And that is a key factor difference, the weight and the fact that they are crushable and stuffable. So there's that guy. This is the number 5. So this is the Simply Square, right? It holds the 6x6, and you can see it's a great place for storing pods and pastes as well. Let's see what else I have over here in my little stash of goodies. There's so many good things. Oh, so we were talking about using things, keeping these together. We use together. Here's the Simply Square again, right? And I've used the Tiny Traveler inside the Simply Square. So these are all the wax sticks. This is the gun to melt the wax sticks. And in here, I have some wax pellets, which don't fit in a gun, but they're in here because, and then all of the other things that I need, right? The handles, everything's in here that I need. So I'm able to keep things together. I'm using together, right? And so all of this, combining these two bags together. Now, there's a lot of the bags that will fit inside each other. So if you're trying to work something out, what can store together, you can ask me about it. You can ask Sherry, and she can ask me about it, but I will do my best to figure out for you what is the best way or the best bag to store whatever it is that you need. But this makes it really easy. You can throw it on the shelf. You can throw it in your tote bag when you're going to an event. You can bring it to the living room where you're watching TV while you're working on something. So there's so many different ways. This is, again, the Tiny Traveler, and this is the smaller spools of ribbon, right? So you could really load this up with the small spools of ribbon. I just have a few of them, but they do fit in there height-wise and width-wise. So it's a great option for that as well. Now, I think the best way for storing punches is going to be the Leanne zip and go bag. So I'll get that out in 2 shakes as soon as I start. Well, I'm not going to talk about ink yet. You guys can see my little ink stack going on over here. But also, if you like to paint, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I've got 18 bottles of paint in here, right? You could easily use another one of these to hold your brushes, your water cup, all that stuff. So really so much functionality in there, in these bags. And you're just going to love them, how versatile they are. Okay, so let's talk. Let me check what else I have on my goodie shelf. Let's talk a little bit about ink storage. And Kimberly just asked me something, and it already left my brain. What was it? Oh, punches. Okay, remind me if I don't go back to punches. I'm going to do ink. I'm going to talk about ink because we love ink, and it's so hard to store. There's so many different types and styles, sizes. If you like, I didn't realize I'm not. If you like Close to My Heart, this is the perfect bag for Close to My Heart. I've got 10 in there. You're probably going to get 18 in there total. This is the number 4 creative case. So close to my heart ink storage. You can stand it up just like this, put it on your shelf, pull it off and on the shelf. Your ink stay flat. You're going to love it. So the number 4 is this one. Now, one thing I didn't talk about is that Sherry will have, if she doesn't already, she may already have them, what we call our product guides or product info guides on every line that we have. And that product info guide is going to give you all the dimensions for each product so that you can figure out exactly what's going to work in that product for yourself. This one is loaded with the Stampin' Up inks, right? I don't have enough of them to fill it, but you're going to get, if you like Stampin' Up, you're going to get 18 of them at least, maybe 21 of them in this creative case. What is that? 6, 7. You might be able to get 21, maybe a little bit tighter, but just a great Stampin' Up, also great way to store that. And again, you can store it flat, keep your ink pads flat in that one. Also, the creative case line. Okay, we talked a little bit about cube inks. And so you saw that we have this nice flat storage, the basic boxes that hold almost everything, and they link together so nicely. But one of the cool things in the Perfect Pouch line are these long, skinny pouches. So this pouch can hold up to 18 cube inks. If you use Catherine Pooler, she uses this kind of longer, oblong mini ink pad. I think you're going to get 8 or 9. I think just 8 in there. It seems like you should be able to get 9, but they're a little wider at the bottom. So 18 mini inks or 9 of the Catherine Pooler inks. And then I like this configuration here. 2 large ink pads, the cube inks, and the re-inkers all fit in this skinny pouch also. Now I'm going to tell you what I like about these and what I don't like about them. What I don't like about them is they don't hold very much, right? So that's one problem. We can't put a lot in there. I mean, this one you can put a lot in. But when I'm talking about this, that is one thing I don't like about it. What I do like about it is that this is perfect for traveling. So if you're going to a class or you're going to an event and you only need a couple of ink pads and a couple of small cubes, the skinny pouch is a perfect solution for that. You can connect them together. And what I love about this, is that both of these styles of ink pads fit in there so tightly, you never have to worry about the lid coming off, right? So ink pads are notorious for that. Once you open them, you have to figure out a way to keep the lid sealed, and putting them into these keeps the lid sealed. So I would use this only if I was going to a class or something where I just needed a couple of ink pads. Maybe I might have 2 skinny pouches in 4 colors and the accessories with it. And the only thing I don't like about this, I mean, you can see everything, you can see all the colors. The only thing I don't like about it is that the bottom row of inks is not as accessible as the top row of inks. But in terms of compactness and all of those things, it is great for all of that. And I love it. I love how cute it is. And I love that they all hook together. Like you could literally use the rings and just hook these 2 together and put a strap on it if you wanted to carry it like a handbag. So I love that about these Perfect pouches. All right, let's. Oh, yeah, great idea. Okay, so if you all are not 100% familiar with how great it is to shop at Paper Crafters Workshop, Sherry has all of these items open and accessible for you. So whether you want to take a stack of inks in or a bunch of brushes or whatever it is that you're sort of struggling with, where do I put these? Or you just want to measure everything at home and go in and say, hey, these are the dimensions. Sherry's got everything there at Paper Crafters Workshop and will help you figure out exactly what she loves organization. I've worked with Sherry for years. I mean, she's been a great partner. But yeah, she's as excited about it as I am, which makes it super great if you have a question, because she probably knows the answer. So yeah, really great, some really great, yeah, go in, take your products in, or take a list of products in, and she'll be able to help you. Okay, look what a mess I'm making already here. Okay, this is Leanne. So we call Leanne the workhorse of the group, right? So I have Leanne loaded with big, heavy tools, right? If you have this, you know how heavy it is. Anything that is made by American Crafts weighs 100 pounds. Oops. Anything that's made by American Crafts weighs 100 pounds. Not really, of course, but the Leanne is a great punch toe, right? 2 layers of punches, or you can stand them up. I like to stand things up. I like to be able to pull things out without digging for them. But if you're trying to take punches somewhere with you, I would look at the Leanne toe. She's a beefy gal. She has a good handle here and a good label pocket on the end, and you'll really like her for that. Okay, so that's Leanne. And then I'm just going to go through these real quickly. This is Faylene, so she is 6x6 friendly. She works with our 6x6 flip flap tab divider pockets, right? Paper, stamps, anything like this. If you are looking for ways to corral things like foam tape that come unrolled, or red liner tape that stick to everything, think about putting them into one of the flip flap pockets. You'll love how easy and accessible it is for that. But Faylene is our 6x6 girl. We have got Merle here. So I have Merle loaded up with re-inkers and glitter glues. I think you can get 44 in there. Maybe 33. No, it depends. If they're only re-inkers, you're probably going to get 44. If you have fat glitter glues, you're probably going to get somewhere between 33 and 44. I got a mixed bag in here today. But so this is Merle. Merle also works really great for just regular 3-inch spools of ribbon, like just the regular ribbon that you get at Michael's with seasonal ribbon. Fits perfectly in here. The top just kind of curves up. It's a perfect match. Okay, and then we've got Kirsten, and Karen is hiding from me somewhere. She is. It's fun stuff back there. So Kirsten and Karen, sisters. Kirsten is obviously the bigger sister. Kirsten is designed to hold 9x6. So our 9x6 flip flop pockets are going to fit in there, no problem. And here are some other ideas like that you might not have thought of. So these are all these little borders. They have words on them. A lot of them do. Thank you with sympathy. There are all these little embossing folders. There's 12 of them in here, right? These are the things that get lost and disappear in your craft room. So think about, would that fit whatever it is you're trying to organize into one of the flip flap pockets, and then you could pop it into either Kirsten or Karen. So Kirsten is going to hold all of your 9x6, all the 9x6 pockets, and then Karen is going to hold the 5x7 pocket. So same variety of things like embellishments and dies and stamps and all that stuff, but Karen 5x7, Kirsten 9x6. Longer name, bigger girl, shorter name, smaller girl. And then the newest member is our girl Kimberly. Kimberly has 6 boxes, which is why all of the markers and tools and things that you store in Kimberly stay standing up. When you pull a few out, everything else doesn't fall over, whether it's Olo or Copic or Artesia or pencils, or even small cylindrical tools or longer pens. The Kimberly zip and go bag, the newest girl on the block. If you're thinking, oh, that looks great, but I like to store my double tip markers flat, all you have to do to store them flat is put Kimberly on her side. And again, because she has those 6 boxes in there, she's got that structure. She's not crushable and stuffable. She has structure. So you will absolutely love her for marker storage and accessibility. All right, I kept saying we're going to talk about ink. Now we're going to talk some more about inks, because we have, if you're looking for ink storage, the Stephanie ink bag, or the Stephanie Zip and Go bag, was designed specifically with oval, oblong, and rectangle inks in mind. So we're talking about Stamps of Life, Gina K, LDRS, oval inks like Catherine Pooler, Spectrum Noir, rectangle inks, the size and shape of the old color box inks. I know there's some other brands that still use that shape. All of those are going to fit in the Stephanie. And they have this little finger hole on the top. So when you pull them up, you can get to those inks. Now you can cram inks in here. I like to leave enough space that I can finger through and pull out whichever ink I need to pull out. But you could cram more in there than I have put in there. So again, any of your rectangle, oblong, or oval type inks are going to fit perfectly in the Stephanie. Now we have Chastity, who isn't here yet. She is arriving soon, but Chastity is going to be your girl for Tim Holtz Distress inks, square inks, Alta Nu, the round inks, and you can see even in my little display bag here, I've also got 12 re-inkers in there. So if you are thinking that you want to carry re-inkers with your inks, I just laid these down in there, and you notice when I pull things out, I kind of tip them back, right? These go pretty straight, pretty easy, but it's just a good habit to be into, that you're angling things back because you don't want to dump, especially these, out everywhere. But really simple, up and down with those, in and out, right? Just Tim Holtz Distress, Alta Nu rounds. There is another brand called Marker Forte, and they're kind of an octagon maybe. They do not fit in here, so just, I know that question is going to pop up. They're too square for that. We probably need to go in one of the other creative case bags, actually. All right, so we have talked about ink. We have talked about zip and go bags. We've talked a little bit about perfect pouches. What other questions do you guys have? What are your organization challenges, or do you have product-specific questions that I can answer for you? Because this is your time to pick my brain if you need help. I'm going to grab some perfect pouches, though, and then I'm going to show you some things, so that will give you an opportunity to ask those questions. How many Copics in a Kimberly bag? I think that Kimberly holds 16 markers per section. Let me have Copics in there. It's not plumb full, as my husband would say, but how many do I have here? 16. You might be able to get 18 Copics in. It seems like, yeah, you might be able to get 18 in there. I only have 3, 6, 9, 12, 14. You could definitely get 3 more in there. So I would say somewhere between 16 and 18 per box. And then you have 6 boxes, so 96 total. So, yeah. But so visible, so accessible. The shape is really nice. You're going to love her. If you don't have Kimberly and you use markers, even other smaller tools, you can see I have like small rulers, pair of scissors in here, bone folder. So it works great for other smaller things too. And I do have one that's just full of, let's see my color bag right here, right? So just, there's some markers here, but just colored pencils, kind of by color group there. So this is literally my coloring bag, like I'm sitting in front of TV with my husband, just in a little color book scenario. That's the bag that I use for that. So, okay. Embossing powders, I'm going to say either one of, if you want to keep your embossing powders, I don't know how many you have, I guess that's a question. I would say either look at the creative case bag if you're like the crushable, stuffable, a little bit more lightweight aspect of it. Otherwise, the Merle bag is going to be a great choice. Now, you could also put them in a number 7 creative case as well. That's the long and lean bag that I have the lunar paste in. They would also fit in there. So depending on how many you have and how you want to sort them. One of the cool things about the number 7 bag, which I will pull out here, is that if you were using it to store something like embossing powder, so I have lunar paste in there right now, or solar paste, depending. So if you wanted to do maybe you have different kinds. You have metallic, you have opaque, you have different brands, however you're going to organize that. And you wanted to put a couple of bags of this, the number 7. You can fit up to 4 number 7s in the number 2. So if you wanted to have 3 bags of embossing powder, and then you wanted to have your tool in there as well, you could do that. You can actually mix and match into this, the number 2 bag. Again, that stuffable aspect of it means that it's really very adaptable for keeping things. In fact, I'll pull this one out so I can see. You know, for doing things like this, like putting multiple bags in. Now, the lunar paste is a little bit taller, I think, than the, well, not, I don't think, I know it is, but than the embossing powders that you'll be able to cut that all in, right? So you can load it with the questionable aspect and acceptable aspect, right? So if you wanted to put, because it's not so sturdy, I would not put, 36 jars of embossing powder in this without giving it the structure, the number 7, to kind of hold them all together. But otherwise, I would look at Merle. And if you mostly stay at home and you like that open effect of things like the basic boxes, unbelievable. I mean, you really, once you start using these, so I'm getting a little sidetracked. I'm just going to show you some things. So the basic boxes are coming. The next shipment of them, you'll be able to buy the sizes individually. So you can just buy the size. This is the J box, right? So these fit into my IKEA shelf right there. But I originally had them like this, 9 of them like that, and they were all hooked together in that configuration like that in a square, and they fit into the IKEA Kallax drawer, right? So if you're using cube style storage, now I'm showing you flowers, and you asked about embossing powder, but you could customize these that same way. Like maybe you're gonna do, this is not, if you're not traveling with them. Now you could travel with these, 1.5 inch, those are going to zip into your number 2 creative case if you wanted to take them somewhere with you. But so this is 3 of the different basic boxes connected together, and you could easily do rows of embossing powder here. I have this, I think this did actually have embossing powder in it, but so these are all pearls, right? But your embossing powders could be there because you can connect these into any configuration that you want. So if you're trying to arrange those embossing powders in the tool, get a wider one of these in a drawer or in a box. This is going to be, the basic boxes are going to be great for that. If you're traveling, then you're definitely going to want to look at either the creative case or the Merle for that. Okay, so perfect pouch. This is kind of a fun little collection of perfect pouches. This is a watercolor collection, and what I did was I took 2 of the double pocket pouches. I connected them together with one of the rings, and I added the shoulder strap, and then I did add my cute little round pouch on the edge where I could put my car key or something else, just because I think it's so cute, kind of hanging there, right? But I've created this bag that I can go to an event with, watercolor 8.5 by 11, right? So I've got in here, one side, I've got 1 tin of watercolor pencils, I've got 2 more tins. On this side, I have my watercolor brushes and I have watercolor paper. So a collapsible cup, and I'm out the door, right? If I want to go outside and work with watercolors or whatever it is. So when you're looking again at what you have, how you use it, where you use it, what other things you use it with, think about the fact that these perfect pouches can all be connected together to build the perfect pouch for whatever you need. You could easily connect a third or fourth pouch if you like this and you're working on multiple projects. It's a great way to keep all those things together. And really, this is my sister's idea because she does go outside with her watercolor. So this was like her, wow, I love this. Our straps are 64 inches long. So if you like to wear it long, you can wear it long. If you like to shorten it up, you can do that too. So perfect pouches are another great option for traveling with things, but they're just great for so many things. I mean, it's amazing how many things you're going to be able to use them for. Speaking of that, I'm going to show you one more. So this is just a little craft kit, right? It's a little crochet kit. Came in a little box. And here's the instructions. So I put all the yarn that I need in there. And as I work on this little, it's a little manatee is what it is. It's much cuter than a manatee. For those of you who have seen manatees, this is actually super cute. They're not that cute. And then I use the pen pouch on the front, and I've got my tools in there. So if you're looking for a way to be a little bit crafty, or maybe you have a kid who's crafty and you want to take a little craft kit with you, you can also just add the shoulder strap here. So you can either carry it this way or with the shoulder strap. And then, of course, that pen, oh my gosh. I didn't even talk about the creative connector. The creative connector works great in the pen pouch too. So you can put a whole box of clips and your creative connector in the pen pouch. It's awesome. But this is the pen pouch just hung on a lanyard. So if you have glasses, business cards, a pen that you want to carry while you're, maybe some of you even work where you have to put a lanyard, the pen pouch is a great addition. I just clipped it between the two hooks on the lanyard, and it just hangs perfectly when you're at an event. So think about the pen pouch for maybe your next crafting event where you're wearing a lanyard with your badge on. All right, Burley, got anything else for me? Sherry is going to be at Scrap Fest April 17th and 18th, where she will have the organized option products too. So if you are going to Scrap Fest, you can order ahead and pick it up at the show. So don't risk her selling out at the show. If you know what you need and you're going to Scrap Fest, order it ahead of time and she will bring it to you and you can pick it up there. Any other? Okay, so I just need to read more. Yeah, I do. I guess I need to also say hey to Matt, Sherry's husband, because he lets us do all this fun stuff, right? He makes all this stuff happen. And yeah, that's right. He does the order. So you guys have all of these great products because Sherry's like, I'm excited about this. And Matt's like, even in a meeting we had with Sherry and Matt, he was like, oh no, you have new stuff. I'm going to be broke again ordering inventory. So we need to help Matt out. Stop by Sherry, go online, go to Scrap Fest, and order organized option stuff from Paper Crafters. Yeah, and you're going to get 10% off with the code Tiffany10, and that discount goes through March 2nd. So I'm assuming if you place your order for Scrap Fest to pick it up at Scrap Fest before March 2nd, you are going to get that 10% off, and you're going to get delivery at Scrap Fest. So if you're looking for products, Sherry's going to have them. Don't miss out. Hop on into Paper Crafters Workshop and find the 2 organization products that are going to be best for your craft supply stash. All right, my friends, if there's no other questions, I think that's it. Thanks so much for letting me join you all tonight and be part of Paper Crafters Workshop. We're really happy to be partnered with them. I look forward to seeing all of you again real soon. Take care, everybody.